Imagine having a quarter-life crisis so severe that you impulse buy a dilapidated Christmas tree farm in a town you've never visited just to escape your controlling, wealthy parents. That is exactly where we find Kira North at the start of this book. She is currently sitting on the floor of a freezing farmhouse, aggressively eating gingerbread cookies, a gift, and regretting every life choice that led her to this moment. Kira is trying to rebrand herself from a spoiled socialite into a rugged homesteader, but the reality is that she's lonely, freezing because her boiler is broken, and she misses her twin sister, Chloe, who abandoned her to get married and move to Denmark. Kira is prickly, defensive, and determined to do everything herself, which is a recipe for disaster when you own a farm and don't know how to use a saw. Then, walking out into her overgrown fields, she meets Bennett Ellis. He's visiting his sister Jeannie in Dream Harbor for the holidays, and he is annoyingly perfect. He's got the whole rugged tech guy vibe going on. He's walking 3 adorable dogs, and he immediately tries to be helpful when he sees Kira wandering around wrapped in a duvet. Kira naturally shuts him down because she is done with men trying to save her. But Bennett has a pathological need to fix things. A trait we later learn comes from a toxic relationship with his ex, Nicole, who constantly uses him as an emotional crutch. Here's where it gets wild. The town of Dream Harbor is obsessed with Kira's farm, but not for the trees. There is a local legend that the previous owner, eccentric old Edwin, buried something valuable on the property. Half the town thinks it's a treasure, and the other half, including the mayor, is convinced it's the body of his dead wife. At a chaotic town meeting, the locals basically bully Bennett into checking on Kira to make sure she doesn't stumble upon a corpse and get traumatized. So Bennett keeps showing up at the farm under the guise of walking his dogs, but he's really checking for heat, safety, and, well, skeletons. He ends up fixing her boiler because he just can't help himself, and sparks fly. We're talking serious tension. Bennett is fascinated by Kira's determination to be independent, even though she's failing miserably, and Kira is fighting her attraction to him because she knows he's leaving after Christmas. She doesn't want another temporary fling. Despite her grumpiness, Kira manages to open the farm for the season, and the whole town shows up. But when her hired help flakes, Bennett steps in to heave trees onto cars looking like a total lumberjack snack, and Kira realizes she's in trouble. She actually likes this guy. Then, the romance gods bless us with a massive snowstorm. Bennett drives up to the farm to bring Kira a shovel, which she stubbornly already bought. But the weather gets so bad, he gets snowed in. This is the moment we've been waiting for. They build a blanket fort in front of the fire because the upstairs is still freezing. And they just talk. They open up about their pasts. Bennett admits he's a sucker for being needed, and Kira admits she feels like a half-person without her twin. They also decide to explore the attic, terrified they'll find the dead wife. Instead, they find a box of love letters from Edwin to his wife, Ellen. And y'all, these letters are steamy. We are talking historical smut. It proves Edwin didn't kill her. He worshipped the ground she walked on. Reading these letters breaks down the last of their defenses, and they finally hook up in front of the fire. It is magical, emotional, and everything they both needed. They spend the next week in a bubble of domestic bliss. Bennett basically moves in, they decorate a Christmas tree together, and he helps her run the farm. But the clock is ticking. Bennett is scheduled to fly back to California after New Year's. Kira, trying to be a better person and not selfishly trap him in her messy life, decides to be noble. On Christmas night, she pushes him away. She tells him that this was just a holiday fling, that it's not real life, and that he needs to go back to his job and his apartment. She breaks her own heart to set him free because she thinks she's doing him a favor. Bennett, hurt and respecting her wishes, actually leaves. It is devastating. He drives away, and Kira is left alone in the cold house again, crying into the fuzzy peach socks he bought her as a gift. Bennett goes back to San Francisco and immediately gets a reality check. His toxic ex, Nicole, shows up at his door on New Year's Eve, doing her usual "I'm lonely, comfort me" routine. But Bennett is done. He realizes he doesn't want to be a doormat anymore. He wants the fierce, stubborn, beautiful woman who challenged him. He kicks his ex out and realizes he made a huge mistake leaving Dream Harbor. Meanwhile, Kira is miserable. She realizes that being independent doesn't mean you have to be lonely. She writes Bennett a letter, pouring her heart out, telling him she loves him and that she's ready to say the word if he wants to come back. A few days later, Kira hears dogs barking outside. She runs out to the tree farm and sees that someone has decorated one of the trees with envelopes. It's Bennett. He flew back. He wrote her a series of letters, answering her fears, telling her he loves her mess, and promising to stay. He steps out from the trees, they kiss, and it is the swoon-worthy reunion we deserve. He tells her he's moving to Dream Harbor for good. They are all in. Fast forward to the epilogue, 5 months later. It's spring, and they are gardening together, disgustingly happy. Bennett's shovel hits something hard in the dirt. It's a metal box. They pry it open, and it's not a dead body. It's the treasure. Edwin really did bury a fortune. It's a box full of vintage diamond jewelry and pearls with a note saying he hid it from his greedy cousin. Kira and Bennett decide to use the money to fix up the old barn and turn it into a wedding venue, cementing their future together on the farm. It's such a satisfying ending because Kira didn't just find a guy, she found a home and a community. She stopped running away from her life and started building one, and Bennett finally found someone who loves him, not for what he can do for them. It's a reminder that sometimes the best things in life, love, home, and buried treasure, are found when you stop trying to be perfect and just start being real. So what do you think? Would you have pushed Bennett away, or would you have locked the door and thrown away the key the second he snowed in? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this.